Hi, I'm Linda Mihara, and in today's class, I'm going to show you a beautiful winged dragon model by Vicente Palacios. And for this, you'll need a large sheet of paper, like 10 inch by 10 inch, preferably 12 inch by 12 inch, and a creasing tool. So go ahead, grab those, and let's get started. So now that you have your nice large sheet of origami paper, we're going to start with the color side face down like this. And we're going to make a couple of diagonal folds. So that means you're going to just take and bring the opposite corners across, hold it in place and pull straight down the middle, and then go from the middle on out to the right and left like this. Unfold, and then fold the other diagonal. So bring those two opposite points over, hold it, pull straight down the middle, go to the right and left. So now you're going to open this up. You have two diagonals that you've created that go from corner to corner. Like this. We're only going to be working with one of the diagonals. We're going to do what I like to call a paper airplane fold. So we're going to take this lower edge here. I'm going to bring it to meet that diagonal crease that we just made. So kind of line it up. Make sure it doesn't go over that center crease. And after you've made your crease, go ahead and follow with your creasing tool so it's nice and flat. This is going to be really important as you progress through this model because we're doing some pre-creasing that will help us with the following steps. So now we're going to take this edge and bring this to the center. And make your crease and then follow with your creasing tool. So that's the rule. When you use your creasing tool, you want to put the crease in place first with your hands and then follow with your creasing tool to make it super flat. If you use the creasing tool to make your crease, it shifts and it makes it off and not accurate. Okay. So now we're going to unfold those. We have these creases. Which is what we want. Now we want to do the same, create the same creases on the opposite corner here. So that means we're going to take this edge and bring that to the center until it comes to a point on the opposite side here. And the same for the other flat right next to it. Okay, so now we've got both of those folds in place and follow with our creasing tool here, super flat. So now let's open it up, and what you have for these creases now so it should look like this. We're going to now collapse this into a seal base. And we already have the creases in place, so it's a really easy thing to do. What we want to do is we want to bring, let's work on this one side first. Let's take this edge, we're going to recrease here, recrease here, and as you bring the paper together like I'm doing here, it meets here. And what happens is you've got this fold in place, and you want to just pinch that in place. So now we've got this little flap that you want to go ahead and just put off to one side like this. Do the same thing for the other side. So we're going to, again, start from the corner, bring that fold in, bring that fold in, and when they meet here at the center, this creates this flap, which you're going to pinch, and then lay the flap down, and let's have them going in the same direction one way like this. So now let's take our creasing tool, make sure this is all nice and happy all the way around, and let's turn the model over. Turn it over like this. We're going to fold it in half. Just like that. Okay, and let's use our creasing tool again after we've made that crease, and let's flip it so that it's pointing towards you. So you see that it should be oriented just like this. The next step is we're going to take, let's take this flap and move it over to the other side. We want to reinforce what I call the spine of the model, which is right here in the middle. And what we're going to do is take this flap here, this part of the flap, and we're going to fold it down to meet that center crease using this point, which is the midpoint, as your pivot. So you're going to take that, fold it down like this, and make the crease with your hand, and then follow with your creasing tool, just like that. Now what we want to do is we want to reinforce this crease, and the best way to do that is to unfold it and fold it back the other way. So you see we've got this flap here behind. Let's just bring it over to the other side, like that. Now we're going to unfold this flap that you just created, or this fold that you've created, which is this here, this crease line. And then we're going to reverse the direction. So we just want to take this and make it a mountain fold. So we're going to wrap it behind using that crease that we've made here. So put that in place. You want to make sure that all your layers are flat, like this, and then follow with your creasing tool. So now what we've done is just reinforced that crease. We're going to unfold it. So that's great. We want to do the same thing for the other side. So let's take the wing, flip it over to the other side. We've got our center crease here as our guide. So let's take the left part of the flap and then bring that down against the center crease, like that, and then follow with your creasing tool after you've done that. We've got the same thing on the other side. Here's our our wing. Let's swing it over to the right side, unfold this flap, and then fold it back, make a mountain fold going behind the model. So we're wrapping it to the back. That reinforces this crease, which is going to be really important for the next step. So now we've got that crease in place. Now we're going to do something called a crimp fold, and it's really easy because we've created that reinforced crease there. Let's take this, lift it up off the table, and what you want to do is just pinch it close to that new crease line. You want to make sure you get both sides supported. And what you want to do is open up these layers in here, and we want to nudge this into a mountain fold, right? So it's, see how it's sticking out like that? We want to make sure the other side is also a mountain fold. So let's just kind of pinch that. So you see, now both of them are mountain folds. So we're still holding it pretty close, actually between the center and then this new crease. What you want to do is pinch here at the top, and you want to bring this forward. And what happens is that these layers, this layer gets tucked inside, and it's about a third of the way. You imagine this is the crease that we're going to make, which is, it starts at this corner, comes down right about here. So we've already opened up our layers there. We're holding it close to the crease, and then we're pinching it from here, and we're just bringing it forward and then putting it in place. So it looks like this. So what we've done is we've done a crimp fold. We're crimping in the paper. You see how that works? So from the underneath, it looks like this. Okay, that's what you want. You want it to wrap around on the outside. So that is a successful crimp fold. And after you've done that, just go ahead and reinforce with your creasing tool. And we want to do the same thing for the other side. So let's flip the wing back this way. Reach behind flat, move that flap over. We've got our crimp that we want to make, or this crease here that's going to turn into a crimp. So you want to open the layers underneath. We want to nudge this crease into a mountain fold. So you want to pinch that, pinch this, pinch here, hold it close to that crease, pinch up in here, and then when you bring your hands together, we're going to pivot so that it comes down and it it starts here at this midpoint and comes down right about there. Flatten that and then follow with your creasing tool. Okay. So now let's flip the model over. So let's flip it over. We're going to work on the wings. So we've got that center crease that we've created. What we want to do is make a valley fold that kind of goes up at an angle, but it stops at this point here. So basically the fold is going to look something like this. Okay. So it's not where the center crease is. It's going and making this long dart. So you're just going to take the wing and we're going to fold it out something like that. It's pretty much to taste. We want the wing to just kind of pop up, but we want to end it here at this at the belly. Okay. So after that's in place, let's use our creasing tool. Let's turn it over and let's match the wings just like what we did. So we're going to take this flap and we're going to fold it back. We've got the wing on the other side for a comparison. So you want to start it here at this bottom center where the belly is. Line it up with the other wing, put the crease in place, and then follow with your creasing tool like that. Okay. So now what we need to do now is to narrow the belly. And this also will create the legs. And so this is kind of a hidden fold, but really easy to do if we do it this way. So you've got two layers where the belly is. And what we want to do is take this section. So I've lifted it open here. I've opened this up. And so underneath here, we're going to fold it, make a valley fold in. And this is, I would say, to taste, it's probably something like where it ends at a certain point. So if you bring this point up, it's kind of like this. It's from corner to corner there. So let's take this and just fold it up. Like that. We want to do the same thing for this flap here on the top. So one way to do it is to take this, let's flip it over to the other side. So you see we already have this folded in. So we're just going to use that as our guide. Great way to do that is to take this, just kind of put a pinch there, lift this up, and then push this in. And it should match, and it should end at those points here. Okay. So it looks like that. Okay, let's close it up. So now we've successfully narrowed the body of the dragon. The next step is to do kind of like a rabbit ear on this part here. This is going to be the head of the dragon. And a rabbit ear is a three-part fold. So we're going to do that by pre-creasing those three folds. First step is we're going to fold this in half, but it's not going to go all the way. It's just going to go as far as, it'll kind of stop at a certain point. So best way to do this is to make sure you grab both layers and just bring it up. We want to start our fold here at the corner, at the point here. And you want to bring this up and it's going to stop right about here. You can feel where all the layers are. So put the crease in place with your hands first, then follow with your creasing tool. This is going to be really important. Unfold it. So you have this crease. And what we want to do is reinforce it going back the other way. So let's turn it over to the other side and let's fold this in half. Now it's on this left side. So we're going to take both layers and fold that up to the top. After you use your hands, use the creasing tool and then unfold. Okay, now let's flip this back over to this side. So now you've got this nice crease here. We want to make a crease that it brings this edge to meet this edge, And it happens right at this corner. So let's take this whole thing and fold it up. And you've got a lot of layers underneath, and it'll kind of stop. You should be able to do this. So what we've done was we've brought this to meet this right at the corner. So we're bringing this up. And it only comes up to where that new crease is. You see that new crease? It only goes up that far. And definitely use your creasing tool here. Unfold. We're going to turn it around the other side and reinforce that crease. So let's flip it over. Here's our crease here. But the target is to take this edge here and bring it to meet this edge. So we're going to bring that up. And you want to try to make it a point that's here. See that point? And follow with our creasing tool and unfold. And let's flip it back over to this side. Okay. You can tell just by the angle of the wings what side we're on. Now what we're going to do is to kind of flatten this. And you'll notice that you have two layers here. What we want to do is kind of do a pleat into the model, but we've already gotten the pre-creases here that it's going to make it easy to do. So if you hold the model from underneath, you see you have your two layers here in the front. Now remember those long diagonal folds that we did as pre-crease? What we want to do is bring those in. So let's start from the outside point, pinch, 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 and until it meets that crease that went down this way. Okay, so we're going to pinch, pinch. We're creating a mountain fold out of that. Okay, and then we want to do the same thing for the other side. So let's turn it over and let's pinch, pinch, pinch until it meets that crease there. This is upside down now. So what you should have is it should look like kind of like a flat, this should be flat right here, which is what we want. So let's turn it over. Let's orient it, the model this way here. We've got the wings going off to the left. And you've gotten this flap that you've just created like that. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure it's flat. We want to bring it till it meets, there's going to be a crease that we're going to create, and this edge just kind of pops open like this. It's kind of a three-dimensional thing. So if this is, let me just get this one in place here. So this is flat, and if you work the paper up till it stops, it's going to create this little triangle here. You see that triangle? What you want to do is take this flap and continue and push it against that triangle, right? So it looks like this. And then we're going to close up the layers by doing this. You're just going to bring the edges in. Oh, there's a little corner that sticks out right here. So you want to make sure these flaps go on either side here. Then it should collapse, oops, like that. Okay, so the neck is right inside the body there, which is pretty cool. We're going to continue shaping the head. And what we want to do is make one, we're going to reinforce and do an inside reverse fold. So let's take the neck and fold it out at an angle. It's kind of at an angle and out. You see how that is? Like that. Put the fold in place, use your creasing tool, unfold it, fold it, make it into a mountain fold going on the other way. We're reinforcing that crease, and this is going to help you make your inside reverse fold. So after you have that, use your creasing tool, unfold it. You're going to open the layers from the front here. And you're just going to take the top part here, and this is going to push inside, and it's going to follow those creases that you've made become mountain folds. So this comes inside and reversing this fold here. So it goes inside and reverses direction. So that's what we that is your inside reverse fold to make this part here. Now we're going to make the head, and we have to do another um, uh, reverse fold. So we want to make a fold that kind of comes across. I would say it's nice if you just make kind of like a nice angle. Bring this top edge to meet the neck, the front of the neck here. So it's going to come down like that. Use your creasing tool. Unfold it, fold it back behind, reinforce it, unfold, and then now we're going to actually take the head, and from the top, so now that we've reinforced that corner, we're going to do an outside reverse fold. And the way you do that is on the top, you have two layers. You want to open this up. This gets pushed through. These become mountain folds. And then when you pinch it, it ends up on the outside now. So this is what it looks like on the top. You should have that nice V there. Okay. So now that you have that, we've got underneath, there are two layers. There's one on either side. So you see, if you look underneath, there's this layer here. And what we want to do is pull the layer out like this. And when you reach the end here, it should follow that pre-crease. You see that? It pops up like this. And then when you flatten it, you've got this whole area here that's just opened up, which is great. I'm going to turn it over to the other side. Let's do the other side. So see, this is before. Reach inside, grab the layer. Might be a good idea to start from the point. So you reach underneath, pull out the layer, and then when it reaches here, it should follow that pre-crease that we've made. You see how it lines up? And then you pinch. So now we've opened up the head and we have a nice wide head. We're going to take the point here and fold it in. So we just want to open this up, push this in all the way so it blunts the nose like this. And then one addition that I like for dragons, I'm going to make him fire breathing, right? I'm going to take the point back out. Let's reach inside and grab the point, and then bring it out, fold it back out so that you have a little bit of fire breathing going on like that. So you folded the tip inside and then folded it back outside. So you're not going to unfold it, but you do have to do a little pleat. So you see that? There's a little pleat in there. And that's my little addition for the head to make him fire breathing, which is cool. So now let's finish the tail. We want to take the tail here and we want to make a fold that goes from this point here to the body. So let's just kind of fold it up. It can line up with this back part here. So just like that. Put the fold in place, use your follow with your creasing tool. And then let's unfold it. We need to turn this into another crimp fold. So we need a parallel fold. And let's go ahead and make a crease that will go like it's going to be parallel. So here's the crease that you've just made. We're going to make another crease that's parallel to that. So let's take the tail, fold it over, follow with the creasing tool, unfold it, fold it back behind, Follow with the creasing tool, unfold. And so now what we're going to do is pleat this in. And the best way to do that is this first fold here is going to be a mountain fold. And then the second fold that you've created here is going to be a valley fold. So if you nudge it in place first, so again, you can take and pinch, make this first fold a mountain fold. So you're going to pinch it in place. So it's a mountain fold sticking out like that. This gets nudged into a valley fold. So we can kind of open it up and make a valley fold out of that whole thing. Unfold it. Now, when you pinch from here and you pinch from here, this is a top view. This is actually going to, you'll need to put this underneath. Let's do this. Let's open it up, make your mountain fold, and then your valley fold will come out, right? It makes a stair step. So we want a mountain valley. So it is like that. So now the tail is, he's got one little joint on the tail. I'm going to make a couple more folds to kind of create a nice design. And what we want to do is create another series of crimp folds. So let's make the first one that's actually going to go from here, this point, to right about here. Let's reinforce that. So let's go ahead and fold it forward. Use the creasing tool, unfold, make it into a mountain fold, so fold it behind it, unfold, and fold it, sorry, follow with the creasing tool, unfold. And what we're going to do is a crimp. And you can actually just kind of do this. I know that we've done a lot of pre-creasing for the other crimps, but you get the idea of what happens here. So this fold that we've just created, let's turn it into a mountain fold. Okay, so pinch, pinch, pinch all the way around. And then what you're going to do is take this and just push this in while lifting it up. Okay, so you're pinching this, this comes up. So you're holding this in place. You've made the mountain folds here. This, hold it here, and you're going to bring this up. So that's actually the way you do a kind of like a crimp fold without the pre-creases. You can just kind of, you want to style it the way you like it to be. Maybe you want the tail to come up a little bit more, maybe not. We're going to make one more crimp here. So let's start by making our straight kind of fold, which should follow along the top edge here. Creasing tool, unfold, fold it back, use creasing tool, unfold, turn that into mountain fold by pushing it down, and then we're going to bring this back up. So we're making a little pleat, and let's bring him, angle it all the way up like this. So when you pinch, it'll hold it in place like that. So that's one way to style the tail. You can certainly make it go straight out. I kind of like the little flourish of it going up. So now we've just got a couple more things to adjust for this and to shape. We want to kind of round out this point here. And so what we're going to do is kind of make a crease that takes out this corner. So I'm going to make one that kind of goes like that. So we're making a mountain fold. So this is going to tuck into the body of the dragon. So see that light, that makes it a little bit more narrow. And then you could turn it over to the other side and match that same thing by folding this down along that new fold and then tucking it inside. Okay, so now we've got to style the feet. So the back feet here, you're just going to fold it forward These feet are really tiny. So probably do more of an inside reverse fold. So why don't we do that? So what we want to do is, you see, it's actually 2 layers in here. So we want to inside reverse it by taking this edge here. Let's open up the 2 layers. You're going to push this forward. And then flatten so you have a little foot like that. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. So let's see. We're going to pop this open. Let's do this side. I think it's probably going to be better if we just take it and fold it forward. You can do both. Like that. So we've got a nice foot here. And in the front, we've got kind of feet already, so it's just a matter of narrowing it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take this corner and just fold it in so that you have something like this. Just kind of narrow it. Oh, you could leave them chubby too. That's kind of cool. So that is the winged dragon, which is pretty cool. You can kind of add some detail. I like to make a few creases in the wings to add some fun. So you make a bunch of valley folds, like that, to give it some detail. So they all radiate out from this point here. 1, 2, 3. Like that. So we have some detail. So that is today's lesson on the winged dragon. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful winged dragon in today's lesson. For more great videos, check out our YouTube channel, Paper Tree SF. Thanks for joining me, and happy folding.